They say he gives a tawiz to people who want to have children. Some people say it can change their lives. Nahida had tried everything, but she still had no child. One day, her neighbor Najwa told her about Mullah Landy. "Come with me," Najwa said. "Maybe he can help you." Nahida did not know what would happen next, but she decided to go. Mullah Landy and Mrs. Nahida, Part 1. Nahida was the wife of Rahman. Rahman and Nahida lived a simple life together. They did not have a rich life, but they were happy with each other. Rahman was a hard-working man. Every morning he woke up early. He got ready for work and left the house. He worked hard all day because he wanted to take care of his wife and their home. Rahman was not a perfect man, but he had a kind heart. He respected Nahida. He listened to her. He cared about her feelings. And most importantly, he loved her for who she was. Nahida also loved Rahman very much. They had been together for a long time. They enjoyed spending time together. When Rahman came home from work, Nahida was usually waiting for him. Sometimes they talked about their day. Sometimes they sat together and drank tea. Sometimes they laughed about small things. They did not need expensive things to be happy. Their happiness came from being together. On some days, Rahman and Nahida went to the market together. They walked through the busy streets. They looked at the shops. They bought vegetables, bread, fruit, and other things for their home. Sometimes Rahman carried the bags while Nahida walked beside him. They talked and smiled as they walked. People around them could see that they loved each other. On other days, they went to the park. They sat on a bench and watched people walking around. Children were playing. Parents were talking to their children. Some families were eating together. Nahida liked watching the children. But sometimes looking at them made her heart hurt because Rahman and Nahida had no child. This was the one sadness in their life. Nahida wanted to become a mother. She wanted to hold a baby in her arms. She wanted to hear a little child call her mother. She wanted to buy small clothes. She wanted to prepare food for her child. She wanted to watch her child grow. But years passed and they still had no child. At first, Nahida tried not to think about it too much. She told herself, maybe one day. She tried to stay hopeful, but as time passed, it became harder. Whenever she saw a woman with a baby, she felt sad. Whenever she saw children going to school, she thought about the child she did not have. Sometimes she became quiet without saying anything. Rahman noticed this. One evening they were sitting together at home. Rahman looked at Nahida. "You look sad today," he said. Nahida looked at him and smiled a little. I am fine, she said, but Raman knew she was not fine. He asked, Are you thinking about having a child again? Nahida became silent. After a few seconds, she said, Yes. Her voice was quiet. I want a child very much, Raman. Raman moved closer to her. He held her hand. I know, he said. I know how much you want one. Nahida looked down. Maybe there is something wrong with me, she said. Raman immediately said, Don't say that. But we have tried for so long, Nahida replied. Raman looked into her eyes. I don't blame you, love you, Nahida. I married you because I love you, not because of a child. Nahida's eyes became full of tears. She was happy to hear those words, but she was still hurting inside. I know you love me, she said, but I still want to be a mother. Raman nodded. I understand. We will keep looking for a way. We will not give up. Those words gave Nahida a little hope. The next morning, Raman went to work as usual. Nahida stayed at home. She cleaned the house. She prepared food. She washed some clothes, but her mind was somewhere else. She was thinking about having a child. She wondered, why can't I become a mother? Will I ever have a child? Is there still hope for me? She did not have the answers. A few days later, Raman and Nahida went to the market again. They walked together between the shops. Suddenly, Nahida saw a young mother carrying a small baby. The baby was sleeping in her mother's arms. Nahida stopped for a moment. She looked at the baby. The mother smiled at her child. Nahida looked away. Raman noticed her face. He did not say anything. He simply took her hand. They continued walking. On their way home, Nahida was very quiet. Finally, she said, Raman, yes. Do you think we will ever have a child? Raman took a deep breath. I don't know, he said honestly, but I still have hope. Nahida nodded. I have hope too, but inside she was becoming more and more worried. That evening they sat together again. Raman told her, Don't lose hope. Nahida smiled. I will try. The next day, something unexpected happened. Their neighbor, Najwa, came to visit Nahida. Najwa was a woman who lived near their house. She knew Nahida well. She had noticed that Nahida had been sad for a long time. Najwa knocked on the door. Nahida opened it. Hello, Nahida, Najwa said. Hello, Najwa, come inside. Najwa entered the house. They sat together and talked. At first, they talked about normal things. They talked about the market. They talked about their neighbors. They talked about daily life. But after a while, Najwa looked carefully at Nahida. Nahida, can I ask you something? Yes, what is it? Why have you been so quiet recently? Nahida smiled. Nothing. Najwa shook her head. I know you. Something is bothering you. Nahida did not answer. Najwa waited. Finally, Nahida said, "I am thinking about having a child." Najwa became quiet. Nahida continued, "I want to become a mother so badly. I don't know what else to do." Najwa looked at her with sympathy. "I understand," she said. Nahida wiped her eyes. "Rahman is a good man. He never blames me. He always tells me that he loves me. But I still feel sad." Najwa held her hand. "Don't lose hope." Then Najwa remembered something. She looked at Nahida. "Nahida, I know someone." Nahida looked at her. "Who?" Najwa said. "People call him Mullah Landy." Nahida became curious. "Mullah Landy?" "Yes," Najwa replied. "I have heard people talk about him." "What do they say?" Nahida asked. Najwa answered, "They say he gives a taweez to people who want to have children." Nahida listened carefully. "Do you know him personally?" "No," Najwa said, "but I have heard about him from other people." Nahida thought about it. She did not know whether it was true. She did not know whether a taweez could really help her, but she wanted to become a mother more than anything. Najwa said, "Why don't we go and see him?" Nahida looked worried. "Do you think it is a good idea?" Najwa replied, "We can go together. You don't have to go alone." Nahida remained silent. She thought about Rahman. She thought about her dream of becoming a mother. She thought about all the years she had waited. Finally, she said, "Okay." Najwa smiled. "Then we will go together." Nahida nodded, "But I don't want Rahman to know yet." Najwa asked, "Why?" "I don't know what will happen," Nahida said. "I want to see Mullah Landy first." Najwa agreed. "All right, we will go quietly." But the two women made a plan. They decided to visit Mullah Landy soon. Nahida was nervous. She did not know who Mullah Landy really was. She did not know what he would say. She did not know what would happen after they met him. But for the first time in a long time, she felt a small hope in her heart. That night, when Rahman came home from work, Nahida looked at him. He asked, "Are you feeling better today?" Nahida smiled. "Yes." Rahman smiled back. He did not know about the plan she had made with Najwa. He did not know that the next part of their story would begin with a visit to Mullah Landy, and Nahida did not know that this visit would bring new questions into her life. The next morning, Nahida and Najwa were ready to leave. They looked at each other. Najwa said, "Are you ready?" Nahida took a deep breath. "Yes, let's go." And together they began walking toward the place where Mullah Landy lived. Their journey had begun, to be continued. Part 2. Part 2 will begin with Mullah Landy.